6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. The government plans to purchase essential food items from the government firms in the future. The Education Minister will submit a cabinet proposal today with the view of solving the salary anomalies of teachers and principals. The NCPA receives over 4,700 child abuse complaints. The daily coronavirus case tally at 1,656 recorded yesterday. More cases and deaths reported. 30 individuals questioned over the teenage domestic worker's death. A father and aunt arrested over brutality to 13-year-old. In news overseas, Afghanistan curfew imposed as Taliban militants advance. In sports, the USA's men's basketball team saw their 25-game Olympic winning streak ended as they were stunned 83-76 by France in their Tokyo opener. The government plans to purchase essential food items from government firms in the future. This will control the prices of the essential goods and thereby get rid of the monopoly menace of the private sectors. Minister Bandula Gunawardena says a structural system will be designed for this purpose. The National Child Protection Authority (NCPA) has received 4,740 complaints against the abuse and harassment of children within the last 6 months. The NCPA said stern action will be taken against individuals who employ underage children as domestics. NCPA Chairman Mudita Vidhanapatirana told the Daily News that a number of jobs that have been declared as unsafe for children would be increased up to 76 and it will become law within the next 2 months. He also said special raids will be in effect to net the culprits of child slavery. Vidhanapatirana said the incident at MP Rishad Bathiuddin's residence, where an underage servant died under suspicious circumstances, is a tragedy, and such incidents should not take place again. The Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry reports that another 446 persons have tested positive for COVID-19 in Sri Lanka, moving the daily total of new cases to 1,656 yesterday. This brings the total number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus reported in the country to 296,962. As many as 267,602 recoveries and 4,099 deaths have been confirmed in Sri Lanka since the outbreak of the pandemic. The Epidemiology Unit's data showed that 25,306 active cases are currently under medical care. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health says that another 937 patients who are being treated for COVID-19 have been discharged after completing their recovery yesterday. This increases the country's coronavirus recoveries to 267,602. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Sri Lanka has registered 45 more COVID-19 related fatalities yesterday. The new development has pushed the official death toll from the virus outbreak in Sri Lanka to 4,099. According to the data released by the Department of Government Information, the latest victims confirmed include 23 males and 22 females. One of them is aged below 30 years. 7 victims are between 30 to 59 years and the remaining 37 are aged 60 and above. Nearly 30 persons have been interrogated over the death of the teenage domestic worker at parliamentarian Rishad Bathiuddin's house. Investigations are carried out on the information divulged from these statements, police media spokesperson Senior DIG Ajit Rohana said. Meanwhile, investigations are carried out into the bank accounts owned by the intermediary named Shankar, who had brought the girl to the Bathiuddin residence. Investigations have revealed that a considerable sum of money had been credited to a bank account in Agrapatana belonging to the intermediary. Further investigations have revealed that another woman at the Bathiuddin residence had been subject to sexual abuse in the period 2015 to 2019. On July 15th, it was reported that a 16-year-old girl who was serving as a maid at the Bathyudin residence had succumbed to severe burn injuries while receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital after receiving treatment for 12 days. The post-mortem revealed that she had been sexually abused for a prolonged period of time. The girl, who was residing in the Dayagama area, had been 15 years of age when she was brought to the parliamentarian's private residence at Bauda Lokamavata for domestic work last October. Thereby, the former minister's wife, father-in-law and the middleman in question were taken into custody on Friday morning, based on the testimonies recorded from nearly 20 individuals. Autopsy results and the evidence gathered by the investigating officers which pointed to the fact that the deceased girl was subject to abuse. In addition, the 44-year-old brother-in-law of MP Bathyudin was also taken into custody and produced before the judicial medical officer for allegedly sexually abusing a young woman who worked as a domestic helper at the lawmaker's official residence from 2015 to 2019. A 13-year-old girl who was being abused at a household in the Norachole area has been liberated following a tip-off received by the police. The girl's father and father's sister have been arrested in connection with the brutality of the girl. Police media spokesperson Senior DIG Ajit Rohana states that the arrested suspects were remanded till the 2nd of August after being produced before court. That's local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Education Minister Professor G.L. Pires will submit a cabinet proposal today to solve the salary anomalies of the teachers and principals. The cabinet paper was prepared based on the outcome of the discussions between the Education Minister and trade union representatives. The points also taken from the report presented on the 19th of February will be taken into consideration as well. The new proposals were submitted on the 17th of May by the Education Minister.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, health officials request the public to follow the health guidelines during this period. Although the travel restrictions are relaxed, the interprovincial travel restrictions are in force with a little relaxation. The public is requested to follow the special guidelines released by the Health Ministry to control the third wave of the coronavirus outbreak. The health officials warn that further travel restrictions will be determined in the future based on the behavior of the general public. That came to you in Watchlight. And now in world news headlines, Afghanistan curfew imposed as Taliban militants advance. COVID, Fauci says US heading in wrong direction as cases rise. Climate change, researchers begin discussions on vital report. The Afghan government imposed a month-long curfew across almost all of the country on Saturday in a bid to stop the Taliban from invading cities. Fighting between the Taliban and Afghan government forces has increased over the past 2 months as international troops pull out of the country. The militant group is thought to have captured up to half of all territory. As US forces have withdrawn, the Taliban has made rapid gains, retaking border crossings and rural areas. There are concerns that with peace talks moving slowly, the focus of fighting will increasingly turn to more heavily populated urban centers. The US is heading in the wrong direction on the coronavirus pandemic as infections surge among the unvaccinated, a top health expert has warned. Dr. Anthony Fauci said the Delta variant of COVID-19 was driving the spike in areas with low vaccination rates. He said health officials were considering revising mask guidance for vaccinated Americans to curb cases. Offering booster jabs to vulnerable people was also under review, he said. Against a backdrop of fires and floods, researchers are meeting virtually to finalize a key climate science study. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, is preparing the most comprehensive assessment on the state of global heating since 2013. Over the next 2 weeks, the scientists will go through their findings line by line with representatives of 195 governments. Experts say the report will be a wake-up call to governments. And now the main points of the world news segment once again. Afghanistan curfew imposed as Taliban militants advance. COVID, Fauci says US heading in wrong direction as cases rise. Climate change researchers begin discussions on vital report. That was world news.
Development News is brought to you by Quality Matters Than Price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melba RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melba RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
A special water supply project is implemented under the theme Water for Everyone. 424 families from Anugalla, Rathgama and the Habaradua areas will be benefited from this project. A sum of 27 million rupees has been allocated for this purpose.
Development News was brought to you by Quality Matters Than Price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melba RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melba RB500, number one in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
And now in sports news, the USA's men's basketball team saw their 25-game Olympic winning streak ended as they were stunned 83-76 by France in their Tokyo opener. Evan Fournier poured in 28 points for the French as the Americans, who have won gold in the past 3 games, were beaten for the first time since 2004. A strong third quarter where France outscored Greg Popovich's star-studded team 25-11 proved decisive.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The Minister of Industries Vimal Veeravansa said that his goal is to bring in speedily foreign exchange to the country through the export production industrial zone that is beyond a traditional industrial zone and targets tourists similar to a tourist market in the Bangkok, Thailand style, which is being constructed at Katana close to the Katanayake International Airport. This will consist of a market for tourists and wholesale trading of local export products. The Minister of Industries said that a land extent of 200 acres in Katana of the Gampaha district was identified to establish the industrial zone targeting export products, which had been proposed during a discussion with the President and himself following the manifesto Saubhagya Dakma.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news. Courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by Ikra Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Export Development Board has made assurances to firms capable of obtaining international financing that they will be able to utilize said financing for their operations. The EDB is of the view that the funds can be maintained in foreign settlement systems for usage by local players. EDB Chairman Suresh Dimel noted that there were long-standing issues with foreign currency leakage from the economy.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by Ikra Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu and central provinces and in the Gala and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Gala and Mathura districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the northwestern province. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batikalo districts in the evening or night. This weather report was issued at 4:30 a.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the international weather forecast website AccuWeather.com predicts that Colombo's weather would be generally bright during the day, but there will be cloudy weather in the afternoon. Today's daytime temperature would be around 29 degrees Celsius. There will be light showers in many places in the Colombo district in the night. Tonight's temperature will be around 27 degrees Celsius and there will be scattered showers in select spots late in the night. The ground temperature would be 27 degrees Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The air quality index is 15, which shows a fair condition in Colombo. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The government plans to purchase essential food items from the government firms in the future. The Education Minister will submit a cabinet proposal today with the view of solving the salary anomalies of teachers and principals. The NCPA receives over 4,700 child abuse complaints. The daily coronavirus case tally at 1,656 recorded yesterday. More cases and deaths reported. 30 individuals questioned over the teenage domestic worker's death. A father and aunt arrested over brutality to 13-year-old. In news overseas, Afghanistan curfew imposed as Taliban militants advance. In sports, the USA's men's basketball team saw their 25-game Olympic winning streak ended as they were stunned 83-76 by France in their Tokyo opener. That concludes this news broadcast.